Well, good morning and welcome back. This is hour number 2 of Tampa Home Talk, and I'm your host, Katrina Madewell. Thanks so much for sticking with us. Hope you enjoyed last hour with Michelle, our mover, and we're joined at this 9 o'clock hour with Dr. Austin Decaney. Have that right?
Close enough. It's Dak and I, but...
Dak and I. I was so close.
Yeah, you were.
Not exactly.
Wasn't even close.
We're not
Dak
even
and I. I'm gonna
close.
write this so I can spell it. Dak and I. What nationality is that? That's pretty cool.
Filipino.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you are with Titan Spine and Sports Medicine.
Correct.
So tell us a little bit about you, because our mission here at Tampa Home Talk, we talk about a lot of stuff, of course, in the real estate space.
Yep.
But we also, our mission is to help you keep and maintain great credit, live within your means, build wealth, and talk about things that make your everyday life better. And I have a feeling you are going to be right in that category.
Awesome. Yeah, well, we've been in the Lutz area for 14 years. We actually even bought our building about 5 years ago.
So where are you guys at?
We're just a half mile west of St. Joe's North.
Okay.
But that whole area is just booming right now. And
Everywhere.
yeah. Yeah. We just had half of it before. We rented it for about 10 years. And then, my financial guy said, hey, it's probably about time to lock this thing in.
You're like, dang, I should have done it 10 years earlier.
Yeah. Well, I had 2 wooden nickels to rub together. I could barely pay my bills, so I was just happy to get through the leases. So
Yes. So this is your place here?
It is.
Okay.
It is. Yep. And we definitely have been part of the community. I also coach at Steinbrenner High School.
Okay.
I coach varsity football. I was coaching flag football for a little while. I'm the head coach at USF for men's rugby. So
that's a rough sport.
we stay busy. So
What services do you offer? I know it says spine and sports medicine, but tell us a little bit about what you do.
Yep. So I'm a chiropractor, but I also have a master's in sports medicine, and we have a massage therapist on staff. We also brought in 2020. We brought in a cryotherapy machine.
Oh, wow.
Which is super. It's been doing awesome things for our patients.
So I did go do that. We had a guest that did cryotherapy a little while back, and she said, hey, come try it. And I was so scared.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, we'll even Facebook Live it. So we did. And I said, just, because you're getting naked in there. So I'm like, don't be showing nothing on Facebook Live. So, but yeah, I did it. I did cryotherapy. Have you guys done it?
No.
Why are you giving that look, Leo?
Because the whole, you're Facebook Living something, but you've got to be...
Well, you have a robot.
He can't do cryotherapy. He can't even sit in this room without a blanket over him.
Look
You
at
think
this.
he's going to survive cryotherapy?
So let's talk about cryotherapy a little bit,
Sure.
because I think it's like the big, bad, scary, whatever. So let's talk about
It
the
sounds
benefits.
scary.
And
Well, it is. I think it's because when you walk into the room and there's like an 8-foot machine in there, and you're supposed to get closed into a chamber, just the space age look of it is a little intimidating.
But your head is out, right?
Your head is out, and then you have these large, aluminum dewars that are filled with liquid nitrogen. That, I mean, it looks more industrial than anything, and it's kind of
Yes.
scary. But
You see this steam fog looking stuff coming up.
yeah, but then it's when you get into it, it's just as scary because you start hearing the liquid nitrogen pump into the chamber,
And it gets cold quick.
Yes, and at first you think, oh my gosh, is this like the gas chamber? Or
Well,
is a cryotherapy
it gets
chamber?
cold so quick. I don't think your body really even knows what's happening because it's
Correct.
happening so quick.
Yeah, and typically, like, say when you put on a pack of ice, physiologically your body goes through, like, it feels cold, and then it's burning, and then it's aching, and then it goes numb. And that's like, I don't know, maybe 2 to 5 minutes. But in the cryotherapy chamber, you start at like about minus 100 degrees, and then, within a minute, the thing gets down to like minus 150. By the time you hit the second minute, you're almost at minus 200. And then if you can make it to the third minute, which is only a 3-minute treatment, you're down to anywhere minus 220 to minus 240.
I don't know how long it was in there. I would have to look. I
And
think
what
it
does
was a
that
couple minutes.
do for your body?
That's
Yeah.
really cold.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I have to look. I don't remember really how long it was in there. I want to say it was 2.5 minutes. Maybe.
Yeah, a treatment typically is 3 minutes long because I don't think your tissue could handle the cold that much
Is
longer.
that even for first time?
Yeah, first timers
cryotherapy
we
people?
usually say, look, if you get too cold and your body is in this fight or flight mode and it sucks for you, let's just get out. I mean, it's just safer to take them out of there. And then as you do it more and more, like anything, like riding a bike, it's scary at first.
I will tell you, it goes quick. Like I got in there and I was like, yeah, this is cold. Like I was like just talking to myself this whole
I'm a hard pass on that one.
No, actually, it sounds terrible, but let's talk about the benefits of cryotherapy.
It is.
Right? 'Cause
It
there's a
sounds so
reason.
cold. It's like one of those numbers, like the national debt is 24 trillion. It's a number that's so extreme, I can't imagine
You
it.
can't fathom it. Yeah.
Well, and you don't. Honestly, it doesn't.
Worst
feel
thing
that
imaginable.
Cold.
No, and
It does not feel that cold when you're in there.
when you start in there, it's chilly. I mean, but it's that same analogy of, you throw the frog in the boiling water and then it jumps out. But if you throw the frog in like lukewarm water and then slowly crank up the heat, it stays in there till you got boiled frog legs. And the same is with cryotherapy.
You eat a lot of frogs?
But you start in there and it's like chilly.
Mm-hmm.
But because it gets so cold so fast, your nerve endings don't have that. Don't have the chance to go through that physiological response. So it goes from
because
cold,
you're done in 3 minutes.
Yeah, but you also go from cold to numb. And then before you even get through the burning, aching stuff, you're already in fight or flight mode. So some people will start shivering real bad. Some people will laugh and giggle. Some people will shake and move. But before you know it, boom, the 3 minutes is done.
It is.
So,
It did go by very quick.
Yeah.
It did.
Yeah.
So what's the benefits? Like what? So when you come out of there, like literally, my behind was numb.
Yeah.
I was like, so I'm okay. It went straight for the cellulite, I guess. I don't know, but it was numb. I was like, my legs were just like I didn't feel as cold as like my people that were there touched me. They're like, "Oh my gosh, you're so cold." And I felt okay.
Well, a lot of like pro sports teams and colleges are now starting to add it to their repertoire.
Well, it makes sense as opposed to an ice bath, right? Because it's the same thing and it's quicker.
It is, but and having done them, many of them in my lifetime, you're in there for like 15 or 20 minutes. You're soaking wet. You have another dude in there, and with COVID now stuff too, you can't be in the same tub, so you're wasting a ton of water and ice for each individual going in there. And now with the cryotherapy chambers, it's 3 minutes. When you get out, you're dry, you're just cold, and then you just pump the next guy in there, and the process is much more efficient, and I think it's also a little more cost effective, really.
So let's talk about does cryotherapy actually heal any type of sport injuries, or like does it help? I hear it helps you recover like the microfiber tears from when you're lifting weights or you're building muscle. It will help heal that quicker, right? So the soreness that would come with working out will go away quicker if you do cryotherapy.
Yeah, there's a lot of health benefits to it, but I think the main ones that we use it for is one for inflammation. Right, so we get inflammation on our daily workouts. So you have lactic acid that builds up in the tissue. Old stuff, like if you've played sports growing up, or if you have one of those jobs that's like laborious, it's compounding. You have inflammation that builds on inflammation that builds on inflammation. It just hangs out there.
Is that possible? Like inflammation on top of inflammation?
Well, it's like a balloon with air in it, and then it
bigger?
just keeps getting filled with air. And then likewise with your circulation, just blood taking time to go down to your fingers and toes and then coming back to the heart to get reoxygenated, to get renutrified. It takes time. Now, with that kind of cold, you don't have the time. Like the fluid in your body doesn't want to be where cold is. So as soon as it gets down, everything crawls up into your core. So all that lactic acid on your daily workouts, boom, gone. The chronic inflammation slowly but surely flushes away. And then the circulation, once blood gets up into the core, it circulates, renutrifies, reoxygenates, so that when you come out, blood comes out, it's essentially fresh. And a lot of people come out and they feel like rejuvenated by it. So, but in terms of healing, I think personally, it's more to remove inflammation rather than actually repair tissue.
Got it.
And we like to use it too for pain management because, like I said, those nerve endings that have to go through that physiologic effect of burning, aching, cold.
So it's good for arthritis and different stuff like that too.
Yeah. You could. We've had patients in the office that are like chronic headache people. We've had fibromyalgic patients jump in there. We had our weekend warriors jump in there. We have some of our geriatric folks that are just active, that are retired, especially now, with more people coming down.
It helps them feel better.
Yeah, they're trying to find ways to feel better without having to, try to do, a bunch of things and spend a ton of money doing.
So you guys do chiropractic, you do cryotherapy, anything else?
We do a lot of sports medicine stuff. So we'll do for our kids, we do a lot of sports physicals. We do some physiotherapy in there.
And then do you have massage too, or no?
We do have a massage therapist in there, and she's a sports massage therapist. So she's a lot of times people will come in and go, "Wow, her hands are like stones," and I'm like, "Yeah, well, she's not like it's not. We're not trying to just make you feel better. We're actually trying to get stuff moving and get stuff
Got
done
it.
out of it."
So when we come back, we'll talk a little bit about sports injuries, because that's kind of your wheelhouse, right?
Sure, yeah.
So we'll chat about that here on Tampa Home Talk when we get back right after the break. So stick around. Welcome back. This is Tampa
Welcome
Home Talk.
home.
Welcome home. Welcome home. This is Tampa Home Talk. I'm your host, Katrina Madewell, joined by my favorite sidekicks,
Leo Kane with Beryl Engineering.
a.k.a. Mr.
Inspections,
Frozen.
baby proofing, all the fun
Mr.
stuff.
And structural design.
Structural
Mr.
design.
Burst Your Bubble, Adam Talley.
I do not burst. Man, I don't burst bubbles. I just got to be factual, man. It's rough out there.
Just kidding. And then we're rejoined by Dr. Austin.
Doctor. It's a doctor. He's a doctor.
Dr. Austin Dockney.
Decaney.
That's it.
Decaney.
Decaney?
Dak and I.
Dak and I, man.
Dak and I.
That's
Dak
right.
and I.
0 for 2, we're fine.
Oh
We're
for
good.
2.
We're still
Hey,
friends. It's okay.
yeah. But we got 2 more chances. So 2
I'll
for
get
4
it right.
ain't 2 for 4 ain't bad. If
I
we
I
can,
promise
if we
I'll
can
get it
nail
right.
it.
All right, so let's talk about sports injuries. What kind of injuries do you treat?
Well, we see your basic sprain and strain stuff. We see your neck and low back stuff. We also treat a lot of post-op stuff. With ACL surgeries. When they're done, they come into us. Shoulder surgeries. The very few like elbows and ankle stuff too.
So we're on a great topic before the show. Let's talk about the people that actually should not do cryotherapy, right? Because there's some people that should not do it.
Yeah.
And I guess you guys ask a lot of questions,
Me.
right? Before you throw somebody in the chamber.
Yeah, well, and the problem is you want to make sure that it's at the very least safe for the person to walk in there. Mm-hmm. And there's some conditions that people have that they really shouldn't be in there. That like primarily are people with heart stuff. If you got a pacemaker, if you've ever had TIAs or heart attack, history of stroke, like we err on the side of being cautious and just say like, although it's kind of a cool therapy, it's probably not for you.
What else? Like what other kind of stuff?
Well, you could do like Raynaud's, anything circulation-wise. So Raynaud's is not a good one.
So it's not good for her. I would think the opposite. I would think it would do well for her, but no.
And with pregnant ladies, I have some that are like, my back hurts me so bad, I'd love to get in there, and I'm like, nah.
It's probably not a good idea either. Yeah.
Idea. So there's not a ton, but there are some that we absolutely say no. You have to wait.
So is there anything, like what other rules should you be following? Is there anything you shouldn't do prior to therapy? Is there anything you shouldn't do after you have cryotherapy?
Well, one is you definitely don't want to get in there when you're wet. So like if you've just worked out, like that, like anything that's wet on you is going to freeze. It's minus 200 degrees. And that's probably the big one that you don't want to do. But there's rules that we have too, is like you have to wear gloves, you have to wear socks, and you have to wear rubber-soled slippers. Because again, those terminal points of your body, the extremities, the blood will flush out of them, and then if they're in the cold long enough, they'll get frostbite. And your prime example was Antonio Brown at the beginning of the football season, where he got frostbite on the bottom of his feet. Doing in the cryotherapy chamber.
Not in your cryotherapy.
No, not in ours. No.
No. But how did he do that? Did he have it at home or something, or did he not have the proper footwear?
He, from what I understand, he was not wearing the proper footwear, and so what happened is, again, you're in there and it goes from cold to numb, and even though it's 3 minutes, you're talking about minus 220 to 240. He would never even know.
Well, there was one of the MMA fighters too. You might know who it was, Josh, but there was an MMA fighter, was a female that stayed in there a little too long.
Yeah.
Do you know who that was? I saw that, but I don't know who that was.
Yeah, I don't know.
What happened when they stayed in there too long?
Well, it was actually like burn marks
She turned
on her
into
body.
Mr. Freeze
Did
from
you
that
see it?
terrible Batman movie.
No, literally, though. I think longer than like 3 minutes, you
Yeah.
can actually get permanent
It's
skin
called
damage.
it's like a cold burn. It's called chilblain. And what happens is, just like a sunburn, it'll burn from the cold, and that's why the treatments are only 3 minutes long. And we have patients that say, hey, athletes that say, can I do it again today? And the answer is yes, you can do it up to twice in a day, but you have to have a period in the middle where the body gets up to like normal temperature again. And we just use, our digital temperature.
How long does it take
thermometers.
after a treatment to get back to quote unquote normal temperature?
Depends on the individual, the size of the individual.
Oh,
like we have a guy who's, used to play at the University of Michigan, who's a big O lineman. So even when he's at minus 240, he's like, it's not this cold, but he's got a lot of mass
Extra.
there.
Yeah.
And so when he wanted to do it again, we just used the digital thermometer, and hit him with it, and his body temperature came back within 15 minutes.
And what about a scrawny person like Adam or myself?
You might be an ice cube when you come out, so it might take anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes.
Well,
we always
that's not
say,
bad.
look.
Yeah,
for
I feel
regu-
like I defrosted within, 20 minutes.
You won't have to worry about doing that,
yeah.
buddy. That's fine.
But yeah, typically the people that want to do it multiple times, they want to stay in. Either they want to stay in there for more than 3 minutes, or they want to do it like back to back. And
Well, I have a lot of friends like in California and stuff, and they always seem to be a little bit more advanced with stuff like that than we are here. So I think it was a thing in California for a long time, but it just took longer really to catch on here.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a little more traditional wise here that people follow, and those alternative things that people try, whether it's acupuncture, whether it's chiropractic, even people are like a little more reluctant to try.
Yeah.
But then when they do, and that's why we're joining more of the mainstream medicine, is because people are saying, okay, wait, there is a benefit to it. And then
Do you guys do acupuncture? It
We
sounds
do
like
not.
that's all that's missing.
How about
right?
how about the IV treatments? You guys do that?
We do not
Oh.
either. No, because again, we're already at a point where we've got these therapies that are, appropriate for athletes and athletic injuries. We don't want to be the jack of all trades, because
Right.
then you're the master.
I
of
guess the
nothing.
IV treatment's more for alcoholics and no.
Yeah, well, no, I'll tell you the IV therapy. We have a doc friend that does it, and it's amazing for here in Florida because there's a ton of active people and active outside people, and they don't realize how quickly you dehydrate.
Yes.
And then like you said, people like to get deep into the cups some nights, and it's hard to just pump
Like
a
I said,
gallon of
deep into the cup.
gallon jugs of water every single day. So
Yeah.
IV treatment is super easy.
What about, do you guys do any cold laser therapy or laser therapy?
We don't. We used to do it, but again, with the technology and cold laser, it's gotten advanced now to a point where we cannot afford the therapy. I do have colleagues that do it, but we chose cryotherapy versus cold laser.
What about the cryo contouring? It's the same or no?
Similar. So the other benefits of like a cryotherapy are you burn a lot of calories. So like in
I
our
was going
chamber,
to ask about that because
Yeah.
like in like Alaska and like Siberia, they have to eat a very fat-rich diet because of the amount of calories they burn.
correct. So by the research, the cryotherapy chamber can burn up to like 900 calories per 3-minute session.
Sign me up.
And so
I know. I need to get back in there.
People want to do it, and then like it tightens skin and it does some other aesthetics things, but we don't use it like that. But there are some other places in town that do, and they do a great job with it.
Are you doing the cryo contouring?
We do not.
Okay.
And the cryo contouring is another machine. We have the
Okay.
big chamber that's whole body, and there's another smaller machine that has a wand that actually sprays the cryotherapy onto a part, and it essentially freezes the fat cells, and then it increases the metabolism, and then
Sign me up. I'm there. I want to lose 5 pounds by summer. I gotta be
Where-
bathing suit
where?
body.
5 pounds. Just
Where?
go for a run.
I want to get my bathing suit body on.
Just run or go lift some weights or something, Leo.
That doesn't sound like Leo.
I know, right?
I don't even think he'd
Just take that wallet out of his back pocket.
That's 5 pounds right there. Look at
Wow, Pat with the
That was
zinger.
on.
I like that.
Pat finally got
eye
me
in
with
the
the zinger.
sky. Got him.
So I'm just curious because I had this on my outline and I hadn't thought about this, but does cryotherapy actually get rid of any bacteria in the body?
Well, yeah, with that kind of temperature, yeah, you're not. There's nothing that's going to survive that kind of cold.
Could it kill the coronavirus?
You know what? I am not I am not a research scientist, but I
You
can
imagine
assume.
it might?
Yeah, I assume it probably could. I mean, as cold as it gets. So
So for the listeners that's never heard of this, right? Maybe this is the first time they're ever hearing of cryotherapy. We're not trying to scare the bejesus out of you, talking about the cold temperatures.
I like the weight loss potential.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you, I've done it personally. It was one of those like fear factor things. I didn't want to do it. Like I was like, I don't really want to.
I'd rather
do
eat
this.
the scorpion.
But I said the same thing with acupuncture years ago. We had an acupuncturist come on the air, and you remember that, Pat? She actually, we were in the studio then. She put acupuncture needles all in my face, and they were making fun of me because these little needles were like, when I was talking, they were moving around like kitty cat whiskers. Do you remember that, Pat?
Yeah, that's when you first started with me, and I said, what have I got myself into with this woman?
I didn't even book the guest. Our radio show coordinator did, and literally a caller.
That coordinator's no longer with us.
No, a caller just called.
Rest in peace.
Remember the lady that called and said her husband passed out when he got acupuncture? Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
The live caller, and I was like, okay, well, I guess if I fall down and the studio is even a little higher than this, I said, and I hit my head, you guys just finish the show.
Well, the good news is if you fell back, you'd probably still almost be standing because that studio is about as wide as this table that we're sitting in front of.
So what advice do you have for our listeners that maybe you're interested in doing this but not sure where to start?
Do the research. I mean, there's so much out on the internet when it comes to, not only just information, but there is research out there that does corroborate what it does and what it doesn't do. There's a lot of forums that people have had great experiences. Some people have awful experiences. And then, it's all about making the best judgment for yourself.
Can we give away a session to someone listening? Would you be okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So just text cryo to 813-377-2775. We'll take the very first one, the text. Cryo. If you want to check it out, you want to try it, you're curious, always wanted to do it, call or text cryo to 813-377-2775. How much is that worth usually?
Probably about $65
$65?
in the
All right, we'll be back in a minute.
in the
Stick
regular
around.
market. Yeah.
Awesome.
I see inflammation in your body.
Think about it. Think about it, Pat. At 900 calories for 3 minutes,
That's
like
like
2 margaritas.
Yeah, it's 2 margaritas for 3 minutes. You can. Yeah, it's worth it.
I'm going to Villardo's at 4:30. I'll be there at 3:30.
We didn't talk about alcohol. How does that impact this? Like
You don't want to be drunk in one of these.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm saying. But I'm asking,
I totally thought that's what you meant. I would say no. But
is it purging is it, or should you wait a little bit?
You know what? I've never actually run into that situation.
Okay.
If someone came in and we have had people come in after a couple drinks, I'm usually like, let's not even adjust you because you're a little too loosey-goosey.
Yeah.
To then make them stand in a chamber and walk in a circle left and right. It's like a field sobriety test.
You got to pass
gone
the
wrong.
field sobriety test.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's not good to be heavy in the cup?
Well, you could, but just not in the cryotherapy chamber. You could be as deep in the cups as you want.
Yeah, I meant
sure.
if you were drinking before or after, if that had any impact.
I'm not
Not
sure.
necessarily right before going in drunk. I'm talking about the night before and then Saturday you're getting cryotherapy.
I'm going to write that down.
Check it out.
Because then I'm going to have some of my big partiers come in and say, hey, look, I'm going to do a beta test with you.
There you go.
Go drink your butt off.
On Friday, come back
and then
the next
come
day.
back and let's have a shot at it. No, like a Wednesday. Let's just
I like
straight
his saying, though, deep in the cup.
Yeah.
Well, I know,
Deep in the cup.
for me, sometimes, if I drink too much, I feel like my body's got all these toxins and it's just ready to flush it out. I can just tell, by the way I'm.
Yeah, that's where you go get
And
a
it would make-
hamburger, and that just flushes it all away.
Yeah,
And a greasy
no.
big burger.
That's it.
All right.
It makes sense.
So we're going to roll over to Professor Josh Shooter with Olympus Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He is the one pumping out my husband's big guns, man. He's looking
for the bro show he's going to later.
He is looking. He's starting to look like he did when I met him, man. He's
Wow.
got his guns back. Have you seen those things you put on him?
Watch out for Chris.
I know.
He's doing the work. He's putting the work.
He's a walking Second Amendment.
How's he doing over there with the jiu-jitsu? Is he
He's
rocking
doing
it?
he's rocking. He's doing so good, so much. I'm like, sit down, rest, because he's going. He's
an
go.
extremist. He's
Yes.
got that extremist personality.
No, he'll come and do 3 hours, 3 classes in a row, and I'm like, Chris,
You're new here.
I'm like, dude, I love it, but we ain't young bucks.
Well,
I was like, let's take it easy.
In his defense, he's not all walking like this.
No,
he's
actually he does very good,
because he needs to go to cryotherapy afterwards.
Yeah, I do think
we're gonna be talking.
We're just trying to put it all together here.
Chris
no,
is doing
I do want
amazing.
him to go try it, and I want to go myself. Like, I should have went this week because Saturday when I went to the gym, my hamstrings were killing me. Like, I don't usually get totally sore, but we must have hit some muscles. Like, I haven't worked out ever or in a long time, so yeah.
Yeah, and what Chris does really well. I mean, he's eager to learn. You know what I mean? Sometimes you get set in your ways, and when you're older, you're like, oh, I know what I'm doing, or whatever. He comes in, he's always asking, how can I do this? How can I do that? He's thinking because, jiu-jitsu isn't just about, being the strongest in the room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's human chess, and he's like, oh, what happens when I come here? What happens when I come here? So that's how he's improving a lot really quick because he's a sponge.
Well, it's incredible exercise too,
Yes.
really. So, like, as you age, the more active you really want to be.
Yeah.
And he's over 50, so.
Yeah. But I believe, and I'm sure Doc over here believes too, a body in motion will stay in motion.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? When people already set themselves up for failure when they get lost in the race. And they're just like, this is what I do, and you're through that motion every day, and you don't push yourself to go. You're like, oh, well, I got this old injury from football. Everybody can come up with these excuses, and then it's like a car sitting in grass. It's going to rust out, but you get a Toyota that goes 300,000 miles. It's going to go. It's the same with our bodies, and jiu-jitsu will help that, in my opinion.
So, and you're one of our partners here for Tampa Home Talk, and I know you're going to give away a lesson too, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So what kind of lesson are we doing? Because you guys do different stuff. You do kettlebell.
Yeah.
You
So
do striking.
basically, we are a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu academy. Okay, that's what I sell. That's what we do. Okay, but I do offer 2 other classes, which is a kettlebell class once a week and a kickboxing class 2 times a week. And that's just extra for my students. Mm-hmm.
Are you what are you going to do it? Is that what you're going to look for?
No, he's playing with his keys and making a bunch of noise.
Oh, I thought you wanted to sign up for jiu-jitsu.
I like to.
I could not see
jiu-jitsu.
you doing jiu-jitsu.
We should do a challenge and film it, and you do like a 30-day challenge of jiu-jitsu 3 times a week, and and let's video the process from day 1 to the 30-day.
I thought you were going to say a challenge me versus him in jiu-jitsu.
And then do the 30-day challenge of commitment of at least 3 times a week, okay, and then have a death match.
Death match.
No, I'm just playing.
Death match.
Engineer versus insurance company.
I'm just
Feels
playing.
like I am not signed up for
I'm
this.
completely joking.
I
But
can
I'm
take
talking
Adam
about
to
with the
death
30-day
match.
challenge.
Think so?
Like
Yeah, team
and
deathmatch, yeah.
film it and
Well,
see
I
what
will
your changes
tell
are.
you, like when I went there with my husband, I was like, "You're crazy! I can't believe you're signed up for jiu-jitsu." That's what I was thinking in my head, right?
Yeah.
But then I went there and I watched him, and I was like, "Well, this is okay."
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Listen, this is the thing, and that's why I tell everybody, because you do get nervous. It is intimidating. We are not a mixed martial arts school where you come in and train for. I used to fight professionally on Fox Sports. I'm retired from mixed martial arts. I do not teach MMA fighters. I take that back. There's professional athletes that come and do jiu-jitsu with me that fight professionally on TV and stuff. But as a whole, I'm not teaching mixed martial arts. There's other academies in Tampa that would do that. I teach Brazilian jiu-jitsu. And so getting back to what I'm about ready to say, if everybody gets injured all the time, I'm not going to have a business. So, our first thing is safety. You know what I mean? So the way that we start our fundamental program, the way that I watch class, the way that I partner certain people up with certain roles, it's safety is always first.
Yeah, I mean, this guy gets a broken arm, and that guy has a broken arm.
Yeah. No, and plus, you're believe it or not, when you come in there, it's ego's checked at the door. You know what I mean? Like, you leave your ego at the door when you come in, because jiu-jitsu is a dominant art. Just because you're used to being, you squat 400 pounds, bench, 3, whatever. When you come in your first day, this little guy will submit you, because jiu-jitsu is that dominant of an art. So, people get humbled really quick, and you become a family. It's more like I
can feel that
have that
vibe in
family
your gym.
atmosphere.
Yeah,
you know what
I
I
can
mean?
definitely feel
So
that
it
in
ain't
your
like you killing each other. Y'all submitting each other, laughing, and having a good time. And you come back and you build this camaraderie and friendship.
Nice.
Like, hey, okay, I'll see you Thursday. You come Thursday? Yes, okay. And then that's what it's about, because you can learn jiu-jitsu anywhere. You can go online, YouTube, and learn jiu-jitsu moves. The key is like, you got to enjoy where you go.
So you started doing this when you were young?
Yes.
How old were you again? I can't remember.
When I started jiu-jitsu, it was about 18 years ago, so I'm 40. So.
And then, how long
22.
did you fight professionally? Your MMA? Or?
Yes. I fought mixed martial arts. Literally, I got into. So my whole life, I was training to be a mixed martial artist without knowing what mixed martial arts was, because I was the kid that
it wasn't really a thing back
no
then.
it wasn't until the first UFC, and I seen it as a kid, like in 7th grade or something. I guess it was 93, I guess, the first UFC, and I seen it and I was like, oh my god, this is the greatest thing ever, because I was already the kid that I did team sports because that's what we did, but I excelled in karate. Chuck Norris, Bruce Lee, Arnold, Conan the Barbarian was like my hero. You know what I mean? So growing up, that's was what I went to. So I did karate, and then I wrestled, and then I did boxing with silver gloves when you're younger, and then golden gloves when you get a little bit older. And so I was doing this mixture of martial arts before I knew what mixed martial arts was. Then when I seen it, I was like, I want to do that. So I found a jiu-jitsu club. When I started, it was like still, I guess you could say, in the golden era. So there wasn't any black belts around. It was just like a bunch of us in a club in Huntington, West Virginia, above a Mexican restaurant. This
trying to figure it out.
Now then,
there was no
back
YouTube
in the
back
day,
then.
that's when you were beating each other up, because we had that's how come it was small classes with the people that just
you know what, that
wanted
makes
to
sense.
do it.
Like if your kid's rowdy, put him in some type of mixed martial arts, because now he's not street fighting; it's a control fight,
it really does. I got a thing on my wall that says jiu-jitsu changed my life, and it does.
So what other benefits does it have for jiu-jitsu? Let's talk about that, because obviously there's a physical aspect to it, right? There's a physical fitness component to it.
A mental fitness component as well.
Yes.
Right, because you have to think ahead. Like
No, that's the biggest thing, in my opinion. What jiu-jitsu does, if you let it mold you, it will. It teaches you to be comfortable in uncomfortable situations, and then you could face. So basically, when you got somebody on you, choke. Okay, you first start, you're out of breath, you can't breathe. Somebody's on you, choking you is a very uncomfortable situation. What that does in your subconscious, it hardens you. Okay, mentally, to where you're so used to this, it becomes a norm. Traffic don't bother you. A hard interview don't bother you. You know, you're not stressed out over a test, because those little things literally don't bother you. Like you live a more, I guess you could say, stress-free life, because of the confidence that's built in you, in your subconscious. You know, so
how does, do you think jiu-jitsu plays any part with someone's leadership skills?
Oh, absolutely,
definitely,
yes.
So talk about that.
Well, first off, I teach that in my kids program. So my kids program is somewhat militant ran, but not in a just hammer way, in a do the right thing and reward way, you know what I mean, and lead from the front. So these kids, you know, I'm teaching them at 5 years old, you know, line up, be respectful. How do we get respect? You know, they're like, what's respect? You know, teaching them that.
The kids need way more of that.
Exactly. and they're like, yeah. So, you know, you got to teach them these core values that I feel that they miss. You know, because you know, YouTube is a thing. I have 2 wonderful stepchildren. You know what I mean, and want to watch YouTube, but you gotta watch what they're watching, because everybody commenting, talking crap about all these people, all this stuff. You're losing this core values in society, in my opinion. So on my mat, I'm really trying to teach them to be leaders, to be better people, and how you do that by example. Okay, so when they're lined up, the darker your belt gets, the more responsibility you have in that class.
How so?
And I'm teaching that because they need to set the example for the person that started. So you'll see my higher rank when I'm like, okay, line up, boom. You know, I call it disciplinary stance at attention. Why? Because we're giving respect to the instructor, letting them know we're ready to receive instruction. You know what I'm saying? So little things like that. And then I make them the whole time from the 50-minute class for my 3 to 9-year-olds. It's nonstop. There's no time for them to think. They don't give me their opinion. It doesn't matter. They're here to learn.
You're engaged and you got their full attention.
Yes, exactly.
So do you offer more of a slower training process for a beginner, so that they're like, I don't know about all this choking and rolling around on the mat. I think I just want to have a slower trained process.
Yes, but here's the thing. Jiu-jitsu is contact. You can't sell it if there's things out. You can't mold the art to fit someone's needs because the jiu-jitsu is what it is. Okay, so I can't sell you jiu-jitsu and keep the integrity of my art with you never actually rolling or touching someone.
I think the best way
Yeah.
to do that, because this was a question on the outline, I think the best way to do that is really just to go watch it.
Yes.
That would be a
no,
good
go watch
place
it, but
to
then
start.
you feel it. You got to feel jiu-jitsu.
Right, but I think
You know?
if you watch it, maybe that would be really unknown, right?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, this is Tampa Home Talk. Stick around. We'll be back in just a minute.
I was actually going to be disappointed if there wasn't music bed rolling in.
I love it. Welcome,
spot on
welcome
this morning.
home. We're preparing for the death match between me and Leo Kane.
It's totally a joke. They don't
May
really do
10th,
that.
Not
Yes,
death match,
complete.
or maim and injure match.
Okay, so
So-
there's going to be hair pulling, there's going to be grappling, rolling around on the floor.
You guys don't have any hair.
Are we going to come at each other like this?
So, there were some studies I have on here that are shown that jiu-jitsu can actually help with mental illness and
Oh,
anger
definitely.
issues.
Yeah.
Can you talk about some of the success
why I
stories
need
that you've seen over the years and, just overall how it changes the body and the life and even the discipline for the kids? I'd love if you could share some
Okay,
stories.
so I know for a fact, like, we'll go to, motor skills. Let's have a child that has, that needs OT, occupational therapy. I've seen them come to jiu-jitsu, into my classes, and get better, improve their gait better, improve their motor skills better. I witnessed that. I'm not a doctor qualified to give medical terms, but
Well, you're
I
just
just know
watching.
for a
It's
fact.
an
Yes,
observation.
right, yes,
Observation,
them doing the class. The parents be like, man, they're doing so good. Their therapist is saying how good they're doing, and it has to do with jiu-jitsu, because of all the body mechanics they're doing. With anger,
Yeah, have you had any kids, like young kids, especially at that adolescent age,
Yes.
where there's some anger
yes,
issues?
and that I've had that with the child that as and that has to do, in my opinion, with their self-esteem a little bit. You know what I mean? Because they're not confident in themselves, or they might not get loved at home, or something like that. Okay, and I feel I do a really good job at reaching the kids because I understand that every child that's on my mat learns different. Okay, and I think they see. I never make them do something that I don't do. They know that me and the instructors are out there grinding. We're suffering when we're training, or whatever, how hard the workout is too. So we're leading by example, and the kids know that.
You're not just sitting back watching and saying, do this, do
yes,
that.
they have respect for that, right? And then when you're able to teach them, then they see somebody cares. They'd be like, well, what's this? What's your mom coming to me? And then they have a talk in the office with me. It don't go good because on my mask, like, oh, no, 50 burpees. I'll hold this medicine ball, sit on the wall with the medicine ball. We're going. And parents are like, yeah, I go. But they see that, and it help it. They like the discipline, believe it or not. Especially
Kids
kids.
do. They don't admit it, but they
no,
do.
they do. And then it makes them feel better when they start doing it. And then I have a kid that brought their F up, all Fs up to a C. And how proud I am for that. Some parents are, C, and go to no, because everybody's different.
did
Everybody's scaled
improvement.
different.
C is definitely better than an F, though,
but that
it's-
was great improvement. You know what I mean? And then
Gotta
it
encourage
goes
that.
better than that. So I see it a lot.
Do you think it? Do you think it helps you, like children, of course, with other sports? Like, do you think it helps them improve? in
Oh
other areas?
yes. Jiu-jitsu can definitely help with all kinds of sports. Kelly Slater, professional surfer.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Awesome. Yep. He was like, every kid should do jiu-jitsu before any other sports. You
I
know
like
what I
that.
mean? Yeah. And the reason that I say that, I like to, it's similar to, believe it or not, like gymnastics, I guess you could say, because of the body movement that you do. You're strengthening your whole body. You learn your balance. You're learning, doing those pathways, to your muscle memory, all this stuff in jiu-jitsu. So it's going to cross over to other sports. And it makes you stronger as a kid.
Yeah. I like that.
So Helio Gracie trained till he was 90.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there's any long-term damage here to the body for jiu-jitsu, or do you think
He
it's
was
more
on.
of a...
He is one
The
one
Godfather,
of the,
isn't
yes,
he?
him and his brother for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu are the one. There's more, but are like in America they're biggest ones. You know what I mean? Gracie lineage is one of the main things. They did the most work at spreading it across the world. He was on the mat all the way up until he passed away. You know, till he couldn't be on the mat anymore. You know, and because there's difference in the competitive aspect of a sport and doing it as a martial art forever. But I tell you what, at 90 years old, I guarantee you somebody on the street wouldn't rob it. You know what I'm saying? Outside of a gun, you know what I mean? So there you can, like I said, a body in motion stays in motion. Now, if everybody's getting injured, he ain't doing it at 90 years old.
True.
You understand what I mean?
Right.
So that's a good example there. That should cut off that excuse that 90% people have.
Oh, get hurt.
I got this old shoulder injury. Hey, come on.
We're
You
gonna
won't
have-
have a back injury
This old
sitting,
dog don't fight,
on
you
your
know?
bottom. Yeah, you
we
know
could
what I mean?
freeze that off.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
So,
And
Dr.
with
Austin,
technology, people like Dr. right here, man, you're going to have longevity in the sports.
So what about? So you were a sports guy too, right? So like, have you
Yeah.
ever tried any of the mixed martial arts?
I actually have. We are currently doing Krav Maga, but I used to roll too and do jiu-jitsu. But like you said earlier, I think maybe in the break, I wrestled in high school and stuff like that. But jiu-jitsu is a non-striking art, and I grew up in a neighborhood where you punched about everything and anybody that came near you. So in both wrestling in high school and jiu-jitsu, I failed miserably because I kept going pulling my fist back and trying to hit stuff. So,
Yep.
but it was awesome. It was awesome because there's the humbling yourself to being on your back. It's so weird, but jiu-jitsu teaches you how to be comfortable being in those weird
Being
positions.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And then likewise how to defend yourself because unfortunately sometimes you end up in those positions, and it's about how do you get yourself out as quickly and efficiently with as little damage
I
as
think it's
possible.
definitely something you should try. And Dr.
Yeah.
Josh is giving away Dr. Josh, I'm mixing you guys up. Professor Josh is giving away a lesson. So call or
All these
text
times,
813-377-2775. If you want to check it out and come try it, come watch.
I'm gonna get a free lesson.
Yeah, like Adam, I was watching you over there. You can't get the free lesson. Why not? we
Josh will give him one. We'll still give one to our listeners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you should put it to the test. And for the people here, we'll
May
do a
10th.
30-day for the people
Yeah,
on air.
30 day. You
30 days.
versus
Don't
me,
make
buddy.
me whip these boys.
I'm telling you, 30
Josh.
days, 3 times a week. Come put it to the
versus
test.
me, pal. We'll
Put
get-
down
we'll
your
get it
journal.
He
How it
wanted to
goes.
lose 5 pounds anyway.
Yeah.
He wanted to get
Yeah.
his beach body. So
That's
No,
like
he
a
wants to
week.
do it the quick way.
I want to do it the quick way. I want 3 minutes. 3 minutes twice a day.
The pill. Everybody wants the magic pill to
pill,
take
yeah.
to lose. It don't work like that.
It's not going to help you in the death match.
That's right.
That's true.
Yeah.
But 1 in 4 people get attacked once in their life.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
wow. That's a high number.
Attacked
Yes.
or in fights?
Some type of
Physical
confrontation.
altercation.
Yes.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Well, then
Did
I've
you connect-
passed my 1 in 5.
Did you connect with Grant at
More than
Keller
once.
Williams to do
Good.
the agent self-defense?
No, yes,
thing?
we're going to. I don't think the date's up yet, but we are going
That's
to.
important for the
Yeah.
agents, especially since agents are in strange houses by themselves with
Yeah.
strangers. It's,
Situational
Yeah.
awareness, and basically learn how to get away is the main thing. Especially if you're smart, you need to defend yourself, get away, choke out, go.
So it's not just a guy
Yep.
sport. You have a lot of women.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Women can do this, because, like I said, it's meant for the smaller person to win against the bigger person.
There you go. Come check it out. Free lesson, 813-377-2775. Thank you so much for joining us this week, and we are going to bid thee farewell for the week.
Yeah.
Love where you live, or we'll fix it. Welcome home.
Love.